Welcome, football fans. Today, we celebrate one of the fiercest and most cerebral defenders in the game. A player whose every tackle feels like a statement, whose every snap reflects discipline, and whose leadership defines the modern heartbeat of the San Francisco 49ers defense. He's not just a linebacker, he's the standard. He's the mind, the muscle, and the message behind one of the NFL's most feared defenses. This is Fred Warner, a player who turned determination into dominance, intelligence into instinct, and humility into greatness. Born November 19, 1996, in San Marcos, California, Fred Warner grew up in a home that was built on faith, family, and focus. Raised by a single mother, Laura Warner, Fred's early years were defined by perseverance. His mother worked tirelessly to provide for her children, teaching them that hard work and faith could carry them through anything. That lesson, that nothing worth having comes easy, would become the core of Fred Warner's life philosophy. Growing up, Fred wasn't always the biggest or strongest. He had to work for everything. He played multiple sports, but it was football that captured his heart. He loved the structure of it, the strategy, the unity of 11 men working together toward one goal. And while he was undersized early on, he made up for it with something coaches can't teach: heart, discipline, and intelligence. By the time he attended Mission Hills High School, Warner's work ethic was already separating him from his peers. He played with an intensity that drew eyes, but more importantly, he played with an understanding of the game far beyond his years. As a high school player, Warner's instincts were his weapon. He could read plays before they happened. He could sense misdirection, sniff out screens, and anticipate routes like a chess player planning 3 moves ahead. College recruiters started to notice the kid from San Marcos who seemed to play faster than everyone else. Ultimately, it was Brigham Young University, BYU, that offered him the platform to refine his gifts. At BYU, Fred Warner became the kind of player every coach dreams of, a student of the game who never stopped asking questions. He was a film junkie. He'd spend hours dissecting opposing offenses, learning tendencies, understanding alignments, and figuring out how to position himself one step ahead. He wasn't just playing linebacker, he was mastering it. At BYU, he developed into a hybrid defender, part linebacker, part defensive back. The coaching staff often dropped him into coverage, and Warner proved to be a nightmare for quarterbacks. His combination of speed, length, and awareness made him invaluable. Over 4 seasons, he totaled 264 tackles, 32 tackles for loss, and 7 interceptions. Remarkable numbers for a linebacker asked to do everything from rushing the passer to locking down tight ends and slot receivers. But numbers never told the whole story with Fred. What truly made him stand out was his consistency, his leadership, his accountability, and his ability to raise the level of everyone around him. Coaches trusted him to make defensive calls. Teammates trusted him to lead by example. And even when BYU went through challenges, Warner never complained. He worked harder. When the 2018 NFL Draft arrived, Fred Warner wasn't projected as a top pick. Scouts respected his intelligence, but questioned his size and how his college hybrid role would translate to the pros. The San Francisco 49ers saw what others didn't: a defensive mind built for the future. They selected him in the 3rd round, 70th overall. From the very beginning, Warner made sure they'd never regret it. In his rookie season, Fred Warner started all 16 games, a rarity for a mid-round pick. From day one, he showed poise beyond his years. He wasn't intimidated by NFL speed or star power. He studied like a veteran, communicated like a captain, and played like he belonged. That first season, he racked up 124 tackles, instantly commanding the middle of the field with confidence. But it wasn't just his physicality that caught attention, it was his mind. Warner processed the game like a quarterback on defense. He was constantly adjusting alignments, reading formations, calling audibles before the snap. Coaches and players began referring to him as the defensive quarterback of San Francisco's unit, the calm in the chaos, the one who saw everything before it unfolded. Then came the 2019 season, and Fred Warner's rise turned meteoric. The 49ers defense, anchored by Warner, Nick Bosa, and Richard Sherman, became the most dominant force in the league. Warner's range, discipline, and leadership became the glue that held everything together. He wasn't just making tackles, he was dictating outcomes. He was everywhere, blowing up runs, blanketing tight ends, punching out footballs, and rallying teammates between plays with quiet intensity. That year, San Francisco made a magical run to Super Bowl 54. Warner's impact throughout the season was immense, but it was on the biggest stage where his brilliance shined brightest. Against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Warner intercepted a pass, reading Mahomes like an open book, and nearly shifted the momentum of the entire game. Though the 49ers fell short, Warner's leadership and poise in that moment proved something. He wasn't just a young player anymore. He was the foundation of a championship-caliber defense. Over the next few years, Fred Warner established himself as the standard for modern linebackers. In a league that values versatility, Warner became the prototype, big enough to stop the run, fast enough to cover receivers, smart enough to disguise blitzes, and vocal enough to command a defense full of stars. Every year, his numbers spoke for themselves. Over 100 tackles each season, multiple turnovers, and endless impact plays that rarely showed up in box scores but changed games nonetheless. In 2020, he earned his first Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro honors, recognition that felt overdue. Coaches and analysts praised his rare blend of instinct and discipline. He wasn't just reacting, he was anticipating. He played the game with a surgeon's precision and a warrior's heart. His peers voted him one of the top 100 players in the NFL, calling him the smartest linebacker in football. Then came 2021, when Warner was named a team captain, cementing what everyone already knew. This was his defense. He wasn't just calling plays, he was shaping a culture. The 49ers' defense became a reflection of Warner's personality: intense, unselfish, detailed, and relentless. Every meeting, every practice, every game, Warner's preparation set the tone. Teammates like Nick Bosa and Dre Greenlaw have often spoken about Warner's energy and example. He's the first one in the building and the last one out. He holds himself to impossible standards and then meets them. When younger players join the 49ers, Warner is usually the first to take them under his wing. He teaches not just schemes, but mentality, effort, accountability, and respect for the game. What makes Warner's leadership special is its authenticity. He doesn't lead through volume. He leads through conviction. When he speaks, everyone listens, because everyone knows he's earned that voice. He's lived every word he says. And while his leadership sets the tone, his play continues to evolve. His ability to drop into deep coverage and neutralize tight ends like Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and George Kittle in practice is rare. He moves like a safety but hits like a linebacker. His timing is surgical, breaking up passes milliseconds before completion, blitzing at the exact moment to collapse the pocket, or shedding blockers to make open field tackles. Fred Warner's game is a study in contrast, controlled chaos, fierce intelligence, calm aggression. Watching him play is watching a masterclass in positioning and anticipation. Every down, he's conducting traffic, waving hands, shifting linemen, shouting instructions, and then, in an instant, exploding into motion with perfect precision. He makes the complex look effortless. By 2022, Warner had become the emotional and intellectual core of a 49ers team that consistently dominated. San Francisco's defense finished near the top of the league in every category, and Warner's fingerprints were on everything. That season, he delivered one of his most defining playoff performances, a masterpiece against the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. He intercepted Dak Prescott, blanketed CeeDee Lamb downfield, and made multiple open field stops that preserved the 49ers' victory. That performance reminded everyone why he's often called the best linebacker in football, because he does everything, and he does it every time. Off the field, Fred Warner's story carries as much weight as his play. He's grounded, humble, and unwavering in his values. Faith continues to anchor his life, a foundation built since childhood. He often speaks about purpose, gratitude, and responsibility. His relationship with God, his wife Sydney Hightower Warner, and his family is a cornerstone of who he is. Even with fame, money, and accolades, Fred never strays from his principles. He represents what professional sports should look like: excellence balanced with integrity. He uses his platform with quiet strength. He mentors young athletes, speaks about discipline, and reminds fans that leadership isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. He's passionate about giving back, about building community, about inspiring others to rise no matter where they start from. Because Fred Warner's journey, from an undersized kid in California to one of the most respected defenders in football, is living proof that belief, consistency, and faith can rewrite anyone's destiny. As the years go on, Warner's career continues to ascend. He's already earned multiple All-Pro selections, Pro Bowls, and captaincy honors. But what defines him isn't the hardware, it's the impact. He's the rare player who makes everyone around him better. He's not just great, he's catalytic. And as long as he's on the field, San Francisco's defense will always have an identity. Disciplined, fast, fearless, and united. He plays every down like it's personal. He doesn't take plays off. He doesn't take days for granted. Every snap, every huddle, every stop matters to him. And that's why he's not just one of the best linebackers of his era. He's one of the most complete football players of his generation. Fred Warner's legacy is already etched in 49ers history. He's following in the footsteps of legends like Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, yet carving a name uniquely his own. Like them, he's redefining the linebacker position. But unlike anyone else, he's doing it with a balance of intellect and instinct rarely seen in the sport. He's not just an athlete, he's an architect of defense, a strategist in motion. When the story of Fred Warner is told years from now, it won't just be about stats or trophies. It will be about the way he made people feel, teammates who felt empowered, coaches who trusted him completely, and fans who saw in him something rare, the embodiment of purpose. Because Fred Warner doesn't just play football, he lives it. Every tackle is a sermon. Every snap is a testament. Every Sunday is another chapter in the story of a man who learned early on that greatness isn't something you're given, it's something you build. This is Fred Warner, the commander, the thinker, the heart of a defense, and the soul of a team. A man who turned doubt into dominance, discipline into destiny, and leadership into legacy. Thank you for joining us in celebrating one of the NFL's finest, a man who redefines excellence not by what he says, but by how he plays. If Fred Warner's story inspired you to lead with integrity, to work harder, and to believe in yourself no matter where you start, then make sure to like this video, share it with another football fan, and subscribe for more stories that capture the essence of greatness. Because Fred Warner isn't just a linebacker, he's a lesson. A lesson in what happens when faith meets focus, when humility meets hunger, and when leadership becomes a lifestyle.